Fast 10 was a totally piece of garbage movie. It was just awful. And I say this as somebody who loves the Fast and Furious franchise. But I will say it was better than 9. I think 10 was better than 9. They had something, but they've clearly gone too far off the rails. Well, there's supposed to be a Fast 11 coming. And there were reports going around that Universal is going to learn a lesson here, and they're going to scale it back. They're going to cut. Fast 10 was one of the most expensive films in the history of Hollywood. I think it was like pressing up to $350 million. You're talking Avengers Endgame level budgets, right? And they're going to space and they're doing all this like utterly stupid stuff. Well, according to a new report that's going around right now, they're going to do Fast 11 for less than half the budget, and they're going to scale the whole story back. This comes to us from the World of Real, who write the following. The studio is aiming to go lean and mean with the 11th film in the series in an attempt to cut spending that saw the production of Fast X inflate to a $340, I've actually heard it was more than that, $1 million budget. I don't think, save for Avatar 2, that there was a film released this decade with a higher budget than that one. Jeff Schneider's source says, Fast 11 will have a budget well under $200 million, and the plot will revolve around a single heist or race. And how about Vin Diesel? Snyder says that Diesel will be back in what will likely be his character's quote-unquote last ride. All right. If what Jeff Snyder is saying here is accurate, and often it is, not always, but often it is, I like what I'm hearing. Because, look, I think there are a lot of fans in the Fast and Furious franchise who have criticized the franchise in the last, even though they've done some bangers like 5, 6, 7. I even really like 8. I know a lot of people didn't, but I even liked 8. About lamenting that, hey, remember when Fast and Furious used to be about racing cars? Remember that? Remember it was about pinks, right? That's what it used to be about. It's about pinks. If I'm going to be in this race, I get your car. And that was big stakes. Now there's sliding nuclear missiles over the ice caps and stuff like that. It's how they became superheroes, I have no idea. But still, look, the idea of scaling back the budget to say like 110 million, something like that, which 95% of that I'm sure will be to pay Vin Diesel and his buddies. And you simplify the story, take it back to the roots, bring it back full circle. Take it back to this is about a winner take all race. Or like the great, I think it was Fast 5 with the safe and everything like that. You make it about one single heist that is 100% reliant on racing cars through the streets in order to pull it off. You bring this franchise back full circle. I think not only is that a more sensible thing for the studio to do, but I think it'll be a very satisfying thing for the audiences who have followed Fast and Furious for a long time. So I kind of personally hope this is what they're doing. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Guys, it's a brand new year, and a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, things they want to change about themselves. But I've always believed that it's also equally as important to identify the things we're doing well and building on those. And therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. I've always believed that nothing impacts our daily performance in our jobs, our hobbies, our relationships like our mental health. And I've also said for a long time that it's about time that we stop just putting emphasis on improving our physical health by getting out to the gym, but also by putting emphasis on improving our mental health as well. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you gotta do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So guys, celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Rob, you heard the report. Number one, do you believe it? Number two, as somebody who is a big fan of the franchise, other than 9 and 10.
I was.
Like, is this the right direction for them to go, or should they be going even more extreme at this point?
No, 100. Look, I find Fast 9 and Fast 10 to be almost unwatchable. I've watched them both. They're painful to watch to me. Because one of the great things about any action film, you go back and look at Fury Road. Even though there's a lot of CG work that goes in it, most of the car chase action has a practical origin to it all. And the whole appeal of car chases is we, the audience, have all sat in cars. So we know what it's like to drive fast in a car. And when you're able to recreate that, when you're driving fast, like 100 miles an hour through downtown streets in whatever city, it's exhilarating, especially if you know how to shoot them. You do what William Friedkin did. You put the cameras low to the ground. You do what they did in like Crank. You do what George Miller does. You can create energy and excitement through that. And what happens with the Fast franchise is, yes, there was a lot of special effects involved in smashing that vault through buildings in Fast 5. But for the most part, it was two cars being chased by other cars on the streets of Rio.
Two cars, one safe?
Two cars. Oh.
That's the next great internet meme right there.
But that's why I believe that those movies and car chase movies in general have always been appealing, because the reality and what the Fast and the Furious franchise did was completely abandon physics. They completely abandoned the actual excitement of real car chases. And for the most part, Fast 5 gives you the illusion of reality in a great way. When the end of Fast 10, when they're driving off a dam and there's a massive explosion and they're going down the side, I'm watching this going, is this like Wacky Races? Is this like a 60s TV cartoon? What am I watching?
It was more like Mario Kart than Fast and the Furious.
And it was just like I'm completely tuned out. In terms of me, the king of verisimilitude. I mean, I let my love of verisimilitude get pushed to the limits in Fast 7 when one car jumps from one building to the next. But I was out, John. I'm out. But if they scale it back, and bring me back some verisimilitude and some reality, and just show me two cars racing fast through city streets, I'm back in. So please, God, allow this to be true.
In this one, they're actually going to go back in time. They find a time machine.
Oh my God. How fast does the DeLorean have to go again?
88.
Yeah.
88.
We got to hit 88 for family. We're going to save Gal Gadot. That's how she comes back in that submarine. Somehow Gal has returned. Oh, well. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you like the idea of Fast and Furious kind of getting back to its roots? Make it a more simple story, a heist, a race, whatever. Lower that budget. Or do you think they need to keep building on that law of diminishing returns, that they got to make it even more bonkers? It has to be the first race across the surface of Mars, and Vin's racing for America. And if they lose, the Russians get Mars. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.